The hero of the previous story was Michael, who went to rob a bank, in order to get money, for the treatment of his terminally ill daughter. As a result of the robbery, a young guy named Tom, who left 2 children and a wife, died. Today, we will figure out whether Tom's act is heroism, stupidity, or simply part of the behavior genetically programmed in us. So, Tom was an ordinary guy, who was madly in love with his family. He dreamed that his son Connor would become a basketball player, and his daughter Susie an artist. Tom couldn't afford his family a luxury vacation at a resort, as there were bills to pay each month, but Tom struggled to save money for a decent education for his children in the future. On weekends, he tried to take on any job. On that cancer day, Tom went to work as usual. Literally an hour after the opening, Michael, already known to us, burst into the bank and ordered everyone to lie on the floor. However, Tom tried to stop him, causing Michael to shoot him in a state of shock. That day was for Tom the last day of his life. After Tom's death, in an evil twist of fate, his wife went to the same insurance company that Michael went to when he needed money for his daughter's treatment. But Anna was denied the insurance payment, motivating the refusal by the fact that the wrong date of Tom's birth was indicated in the insurance policy. So, let's look at the reasons for such an act, and try to objectively evaluate it. If this situation were covered by the press, then surely in the evening report, the young journalist would say that Tom acted like a real hero, trying to stop the criminal. And the chief of police said about the public duty of every citizen, and that everyone should conscientiously do their job, which Tom did. Now let's imagine that Tom neutralized Michael. He was awarded. Michael went to jail. His daughter is dead. And the main shareholder of the bank that Michael tried to rob, with the money that Michael wanted would buy for the treatment of his daughter, would buy his wife the 20th branded bag, so that she could brag about it on social networks for several days. After that, put it in the closet and forget about it. But, what if the robber was not Michael, but an experienced criminal, who would spend money not on treating his daughter, but, for example, on buying a new sports car? Okay. Let's imagine that it was not Michael who robbed the bank, but a real gangster, and Tom tried to stop him. As a result, Tom is dead. His son, who could become an NBA star, got into a bad campaign because his mother, Tom's wife, had less time to raise a child, as she was forced to take a second job to support her family. Tom's daughter, instead of going to art college, immediately after school went to hard work in catering. The gangster bought a brand new sports car. The shareholder's wife was left without a bag. If you remove emotions and social overtones, and evaluate the result of Tom's act, based only on facts and causal relationships, it turns out that Tom gave his life, trying to save the bag, while sacrificing the future of his children. Damn it. It's just kind of absurd. Why did Tom do it this way? He was not a stupid guy, and loved his children very much. So, we return to the very moment when Michael pointed a gun at Tom, and ordered him to lie down on the floor. Tom doesn't have time to build causal relationships between his actions and their consequences. In a negligible amount of time, his brain has to tell his body what to do. And he gives the command to attack. But why did he decide to attack the robber, instead of lying on the floor? This pattern of behavior is programmed into Tom's genes and activated during Tom's military service. The first social groups began to form with one single purpose: to survive. The tribe could repel the attack of the beast. By uniting in groups, it became easier to hunt. It was possible to hunt in the territory of lone hunters or even kill them. However, there was one problem. The actions of the group during the hunt or during the attack of another tribe were not coordinated. Everyone did what he saw fit at the moment, and the effectiveness of hunting or defensive actions during the attack of another tribe was low. For example, if not all members of the tribe took part in the battle, the result for the tribe as a whole was deplorable. Therefore, by trial and error, the most effective patterns of behavior in certain situations were developed. The implementation of these patterns of behavior was simply impossible without the interaction between the participants in these actions. This is how such concepts as order, submission, and duty appeared. The one who gave the orders was mostly the one who understood exactly how to implement a successful pattern of behavior. Order, obedience, and duty have become integral elements of the implementation of a specific model of behavior aimed primarily at survival. These patterns of behavior have been proven to be effective countless times. After hundreds of thousands of generations, having got into our genes, they were fixed from generation to generation, becoming an integral part of our ability to survive. The world has changed. Modern society, in the structure in which it is organized now, exists for a negligibly short time, compared to primitive times, and new patterns of behavior have not yet replaced the old ones. However, the ruling social groups have realized that they can use incredibly powerful genetic triggers for their own purposes. Therefore, now these patterns are not only not being destroyed, but on the contrary, are being actively consolidated. This is how soldiers follow orders, without considering whether their actions are necessary for their survival, or the survival of their families, or whether innocent civilian victims are simply a side effect of a multi-billion-dollar business built on blood. It is by following orders, on a subconscious level, that the police dispersed peaceful rallies, at which people opposed the construction of factories in protected areas. It seems simply unbelievable that a person does what he considers wrong. Every time you have a sense of duty, you seem to be transferring the controller from your body to someone else. You are in command mode. Someone plays with your life, as if in a computer game, while replenishing their fortune. The psychological program of submission works almost flawlessly. The only danger for her is critical thinking, when on a conscious level, a person tries to assess the degree of adequacy of the order. But she copes with this problem precisely with a sense of duty, when, despite what a person considers wrong, he says to himself, "It's wrong, but I have to do it, it's my duty." From the point of view of logic, this is inexplicable, but from the point of view of the survival of the tribe, this mechanism is ideal, since in a rapidly changing battle situation, any disruption in the interaction between members of the tribe can lead to the death of everyone. Therefore, orders are executed instantly, making the interaction system incredibly dynamic, and therefore instantly adapting to rapidly changing circumstances. That's why Tom risked his life for the bag. This does not mean that there is no need to prevent illegal actions. However, each person has the right to make decisions consciously, clearly understanding all the consequences of his act, for himself and for others. But we must understand that by replacing the basic concepts, our genetically programmed patterns of behavior are no longer used for the purpose of survival, but for managing society for personal purposes. In ancient times, no one would have thought to risk their lives for something that had nothing to do with survival. But now it seems the norm and heroism. We are not dogs, obediently following commands, we are people. We have consciousness, and we must clearly understand that we should not place any material values above human life.